All right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Do Hard Things podcast. I'm your host, JT, certified high performance coach, transformational mindset coach. And in this episode, I'm just going to get right to it. I don't feel like even recording this episode, but I have a commitment to show up and do this anyway because I have a lot of people that are relying on me. I have dreams and hopes and aspirations, and this is part of it. But if I can be brutally honest, I had thought about mailing this in. I do have other interviews lined up. I thought about just throwing one of those in the hopper, but I'm like, no, the format of the show currently is an interview each week and then a monologue, right? And this is monologue week. And so I just want to share with you what's going on in my life. This one's called "When It Rains, It Pours." And to be brutally honest, I'm just dealing with a lot of stuff in my life. And I'm a certified high performance coach. I'm a mindset coach, right? How can I be in the state of kind of being down where I want to mail it in, right? Not want to do this. Well, that's just a human dynamic. That's just the period of life that I'm in. In the last few weeks, there's just been one thing after another, after another, after another that has happened to me. And it's just been a hard time, just a period of trouble. Things just unexpected financial expenses. I've had, we went on spring break last week with the kids. The clutch went out on the trip. It completely deviated our trip. I had to cancel where we were going, make some adjustments. Didn't know if it was a dangerous situation to get the car. We drove cross country to Richmond, Virginia. And the bottom line is it took about 2 days to get there, a solid day and a half with some breakdowns along the way. And we got stranded in Kentucky. And we finally got the car to Richmond, our final destination. And I didn't know, with the work that needed to get done and the parts and supply chain issues, whether or not I was going to get the car back in time. I got it at the very last minute. It was a $3,000 repair by itself. And we made it back, but just made for what was supposed to be a relaxing week, like incredibly stressful. And just a series of as soon as I get back home from the trip, the dishwasher goes out and it completely, it needs to be replaced. And every single day there has been some level of resistance. And I think one of the bigger ones, the one that's really got me emotional right now is my mother who adopted me is in hospice care. And I had to go this weekend and say goodbye. And that was incredibly emotional. So I just feel my rucksack right now is incredibly heavy. And I just wanted to, like I said, I didn't want to have this podcast. I want to record it tonight. But I just wanted to share with you, this is real life. This is me. I don't know. Everyone deals with hardships. And, but I wanted to give you a list of the things that I'm currently actively doing to help me navigate through this tough time. And just to be transparent that, I think about how can I come on here and record this podcast? What kind of, am I an imposter, right? How can I be a mindset coach and then have all these things that are happening that are bringing me down, right? But the truth is that's the human dynamic, is that suffering happens, hardship happens, and everyone's hardship is completely different. But that's part of living on this planet. And I don't care who you are, hardship happens to you. And I just think it's a good opportunity for me to share what I'm actively doing right now to help get me through this tough time. And, I started going down the path of wallowing, self-pity, shaking my confidence to a point where I didn't want to show up and do my work. It's how can I do this work? How can I motivate, inspire others when I'm not even motivated to do it? And that's incredibly difficult, right? That's incredibly difficult. But I've been there. But I'm like, I know that I can't stay. I can't continue to wallow in my self pity. I've got to dust myself off. And I kept feeling like as soon as I would dust myself off, it would be something else that would hit me. And then I'm like, damn it. Okay, I'm going to get back up and I'm going to get hit again. I think about, was it Terminator 2 with the newer Terminator, the guy that turned into like liquid, like he just kept getting hit over and over and he would just like get up and just continue going. And he would get hit again, blown apart, but he would just congeal and just come back together again. He was relentless. I feel like I can be incredibly relentless like that, but it got to me, man. I'm telling you, it got to me, and it brought me to my knees. I'm not gonna lie, it pulled me down where I has had to take a knee. I'm like, okay, time out, time out. What do I need to do? Like, this isn't the things that I'm dealing with. Like, I just need a freaking break, and I'm in a moment of timeout, absolute timeout. So these are the things, and in no particular order, that I have been focused on and being deliberate about to help me navigate through this tough time. And I think that I'm getting on the other side of it. Um, but here, so let me share with you. Um, so the first thing is thinking long term. You have to have a compelling vision of the future, and that's one thing that I'm thinking about. Is like, what is my future? And I'm in a tough time. You know, I have the anxiety of being a transitioning veteran where there's a lot of unknowns. Still in the active duty military, United States Army, and I'm transitioning. And I've been doing the same work since I was 17 years old. I almost feel like I'm grieving the loss of a child or something. Right, a big part of me is I'm letting go of this handrail of success. I've had this to ground me, and I'm letting it go, and that's causing me some anxiety. But I'm looking at the future of like all these possibilities of what we're creating here with the Do Hard Things Nation. I'm really excited about it. I've got a big vision of events. I'm working through creating a retreat. We are working on creating our first uh, physical event. We just launched our first virtual event. We have the apparel; people are wearing it. We've got, the forge is going well. We have, coaching clients, and things are going incredibly well. And that gives me, when I think about that, it gets me excited. And then I think about my purpose statement. And this is one of the things when you go through 12 weeks of coaching with me, we're going to craft a purpose statement. And this helps you in these moments. So I'm going to read mine. Let me read my purpose statement. The purpose of my life is to be fully alive and present, to be intentional and appreciate my loved ones, to use my talents to add value to the world. I inspire and challenge people to raise their ambition, face their fear, and develop grit and discipline so they can live a more purposeful, fulfilling, and happy life. Now, this is my purpose statement, and I have to remind myself that we have periods where we feel low, where we feel off of our A game, where things drag us down. And this is a reminder to me that what do I to feel fully alive and present, what do I need to do? Because when I'm wallowing in self-pity, when my confidence has been shaken, I can't be intentional. I can't appreciate my loved ones if I'm closing them out and not letting them help me. I'm not feeling very inspirational, and I'm not challenging people when I'm feeling incredibly challenged and uninspired, right? I help people raise their ambition. These are the things that make me feel good. This is the mission, right? And so to remind myself, I had to pull this out and remind myself, like, this is my purpose, and I need to get back. I need to wake up and figure out what I need to do to get back on my purpose, because this current state of being is not, it's temporary. It's a temporary state of being. And I got to think about the long term. What is my compelling reason for the future? And who is relying on me? Like, my kids are relying on me. My tribe is relying on me. My coworkers are relying on me. My family is relying on me. They're all relying on me. So I can't be here indefinitely, right? So so think, the number one thing I'd have you think about is think like long term, big picture. And if you don't have a compelling vision of the future, it's going to be very difficult for you to find that motivation, inspiration that you need to move forward. So, what's working now? What's not working now? Who is working now? Who isn't working now? And who are you becoming? Having clarity on knowing who you want to be and who you're becoming enables you to move forward. And so you can wallow a short period of time, but then you got to get back on it. And that's one of the things I want you to think about if you're finding yourself in a low spot. So think long term, identify your purpose statement, and who are we becoming, and how do we get there? All right. Second thing is gratitude, having deep gratitude. And this is like just getting a pen and paper out and just making a list of the things that are actually going well and the people that are going well for you, and really thinking about like the things that you do have, because oftentimes we think about the things that aren't going well, the things that we don't have, or the big problem sets that we have in life. But what is going well? Because sometimes we forget about those things. And when you take a moment and you're in deep gratitude and you're truly grateful for your health, for the team of people you do have around you, for the opportunities that you do have, and then you think about, what are some of the other hardships that other people that are going through that are probably far worse than what you're currently going through? Yeah, tough life is tough, but remember, hardship is part of the human dynamic, and there's definitely people out there that are going through more difficult things. And just being grateful for what you do have gives you just a new level of perspective, right? You've been looking through things through a certain lens, but having deep gratitude enables you to shift your perspective and enable you to view the situation in a different lens. And so, what are you grateful for? What are you truly, deeply grateful for? An exercise I like to do is just put my hand on my heart and feel my heart beating and the breath and the life that I have, because I know as long as this heart beats, I have life. And as long as I can breathe in and breathe air, oxygen into my body, I have that going for me. I have my health. I have the roof over my head. I've got, people in my life. I have my daughters. I have my family. I have my close friends. I have all of these things. And I have Lacey. I have all these things in my life that are incredibly important to me, and not losing sight of that because of these other things that are happening that are beyond my control or inconveniences. The third thing, and this is a tough one, asking for help, because oftentimes pride and ego gets in the way. But asking for help. Who is your team? Who is your team of people? Your kids, your partner, your friends, coworkers, coaches, mentors, therapists. Who is on your team, and ask them for help. And that's been a big one for me. I've actually had to get beyond my own pride. I pride myself on being able to, I got big shoulders, a big rucksack. I can take this burden. But I got to a point where I had to open myself up and realize that I needed some help. And I opened up to my partner and like just broke it down like, hey, I need some help here. And that was a hard one. I mean, I broke down in tears and I'm like, I can't do this alone at the moment. I need some help. And I called a therapist, my therapist. I'm like, look, I made the appointment. Like, I had an appointment scheduled, but look, if you got some time, I need to talk to you now. I need to unpack some things. I need some clarity in my life. And then I called a coach, got some clarity there, and dealt with some grief and some guilt, and unpacked some of those things, anger and sadness. I was able to unpack all of the negative emotions that I'm feeling. And, you know, old me would have just stewed and just packed this stuff away. But I had to get beyond my own pride and ego to push forward, and had to look at my team and lean on my team a little bit. And I'm usually the strong one, but in this case, I haven't been. And opening up and letting them in has been very helpful. And I've said this before to people, like when they're going through difficult times, like, how dare you not give your friends and family and your loved ones the opportunity to be there for you. And I had to take a dose of my own medicine, and I thought of that, like, what advice would I give someone that's going through the same situation that I'm going through? Well, I would allow them the opportunity to be there for me, right? How dare how dare you, Jay, not allow them the opportunity to be there for you? And that's a tough one when you feel like you're the strong one and you've got pride, right? So I had to swallow some pride and let them in. And I'm grateful that I did. Having some conversations this week enabled me to unpack some things and lighten my load a little bit, um, and allow them the opportunity to be there for me. And in doing so, I've created a deeper connection with those people, and I'm very grateful for that. So ask for help. That's number 3. Ask for help. Number 4, self care. Self care, like disciplined self care, not coping. And a lot of times, undisciplined self care is, hey, I'm going to grab a bottle of wine and sit on the couch and just binge on Netflix. Now, you can do that for a night or a day. Okay, you get a pass for a night or a day, but if you're doing that for multiple days at a time or at every opportunity, that's not disciplined self care. That's bad coping mechanisms and escapism. So, disciplined self care is doubling down on those things that you know are good for you. And it's hard when you're not feeling good, when you're feeling uninspired, when you're feeling lost and sad and grief. It's difficult to get up and go work out or go for a jog or sling any type of weight or to want to meditate or to listen to a podcast that's going to put something positive between your ears. It's even harder when you're in those moments. But you need to have awareness that you need to do these things. And you know that by going through them and doing them, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel better. So, forcing myself to go for a jog, to force myself to meditate. And I'm not gonna lie, there's been some meditation. I sat down and I got started, and it's supposed to be a 20-minute. I'm like, I'm done after 10 minutes, but at least I did it, right? And I felt a little bit better after doing it. But I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm not sitting here for 20 minutes. I kind of melded in a little bit, but it was better than nothing. Or going on that jog, maybe it wasn't as fast or as far as I wanted to do it, but I did feel better by doing it. I did unpack some stress by doing it. And listening to something, a positive podcast. I even listened to, a lot of my stuff is pretty serious, but listening to some music or something funny has definitely been helpful, right? Put a little levity in your life. So, self care. And, there's been times where I just wanted to go get a 6-pack and just sit and watch Netflix. And I didn't do it. I abstained from alcohol, and I did what I needed to do. Drink more water, ate something healthy. I didn't go get that. There was one day I remember I was looking at the Ben and Jerry's. I almost grabbed it and I put it back. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because I know I'm actually going to feel worse. It's what I want right now, but I'm going to feel guilt. I'm going to feel like crap. My stomach doesn't tolerate it. I'm going to have a stomach ache. I'm not going to sleep well because the sugar is going to keep me up. Drink some water, eat something kind of sweet that's healthy for you. I think I made like a yogurt. Yeah, Greek yogurt with a little bit of honey and some. It was actually pretty good. That does a trick for me sometimes, as opposed to ice cream. So, all right. So disciplined self care. And part of that is like, what can you take off of your plate? What can you, that kind of, actually, this harkens back to asking for help. What can you take off your plate? Who can you delegate some things to give yourself some breathing room? Because sometimes it's just difficult to get up and just manage life in general, even when you're on your A game. When you're feeling down, sad, blue, depressed, all of those things, it's far more difficult, right? And so who can you delegate some of those things to? How can you give yourself a little breathing room? And then finally, what I've learned to do is listen to the universe. I know and understand that suffering and hardship is a part of the great human dynamic. It's part of the experience of being on this planet. Everyone goes through it. Everyone has hardship. Everyone has challenge and struggle. And it's all unique to the individual experience. As I'm telling you about my struggles, my challenges, the things that are getting me down right now, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, that's kind of weak, right? I've dealt with much worse than that. And I have dealt in periods where I've had tougher things, but everyone's experience is completely different, and it's based on the individual. And to compare that to someone else, it doesn't do any good, right? So, but listen to the universe, because what I have learned as I look back, like when I'm going through hard times, I don't understand why I'm going through the hard time, whether it's the universe, whether it's God, whatever it is. But usually there's a lesson and there are positives from going through that experience. It's an opportunity to course correct, it's an opportunity to take a knee and listen. And that's what I've been focusing, slowing down a little bit, listening to what the universe is telling me, and looking at the opportunities that will present themselves from this hardship. I'm going to be a little bit more resilient. There's a reason for some of these things. There's been some things lately. It's like you start to notice the coincidences. And I truly believe that things happen for a reason sometimes. And there's a reason that I'm in this period right now. And to open up my heart and my eyes and just listen to it and just realize that I'm going to be okay. Like things are going to be okay. Like the things that I'm going through is life. It could always be worse. Probably will get worse at some point, and then I'm okay. I've got a great support network of people around me. I need to listen. I need to look at the opportunities. I need to look at this as an opportunity to take a knee, slow things down, course correct, revisit my purpose statement, look at where I'm going and who I'm becoming, and get to work and get to work. And so that's number 5. Listen to the universe, take a knee, slow things down, and course correct. So just to recap, the 5 things: think long term, gratitude, ask for help, look at your team, ask for help, discipline self-care, double down on it, and listen to the universe. Use this as an opportunity to slow down and listen. Listen. We would do this thing. I learned this in the Sapper Leader course. We called it SILS. It's basically when you're on patrol and you're doing a movement to contact. You're trying to figure out where the objective is and where the enemy is. You basically take a knee, take your hat off, and everyone is just silent. You're looking, you're listening, you're smelling. You're trying to determine where you're going and what you're going to do. And that just taking that moment to just ground yourself and listen to the universe. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm taking a knee. I'm doing my SILs in life and using this as an opportunity to course correct. So I'm good. For if you're worried about me, just know that I am good. I'm good to go, because what I don't want is my messenger blowing up with a bunch of, you got this. I mean that's nice. Or do you need help? I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm good. I'm doing all the things. I just wanted to share with you, be a little bit open and honest and transparent, let you know that even the best of us, even in this industry of mindset coaching, right, and personal growth and development, that I'm aspiring to be, among the best mindset coaches that are out there. And here I am sharing my troubles and whatnot. And like I said, that's not an easy thing to do, but I just need you to know that I don't care who you are. I think that hardship is a part of life. And I wanted to share with you what I was actively doing to get through this, and how incredibly grateful I am for my opportunities. I'm grateful. I said earlier that I want to do this podcast, but I'm so tremendously grateful. Like if you're listening to me right now this far, I truly appreciate you. And I appreciate the opportunities that have presented themselves. I appreciate the opportunities that are continuing to present themselves. And I just want you to also know that I'm human, and it's okay to have feelings, and it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be, I don't know, have all of the negative emotions. It's just not okay to wallow and have self-pity and be defeated by it. And I wanted to share with you my struggles and how I'm maneuvering through it, to give you maybe some inspiration. This has all been pretty well unscripted. In fact, I talked about resistance. I actually, I jotted down a bunch of notes. I was going to okay, I don't want to do the podcast, but I'm going to do it. I jotted down some notes, going to go walk the dog and then come back in here, and I'll be I'll be doggone if the paper didn't blow away. So so quickly, I just went and jotted a couple more because I actually probably had some more notes and some things to talk about. But I think for the purpose of today, it's good enough. Thank you so much for listening. Grateful for you. Um, and I just ask that give me some feedback. I'd love to hear your feedback on what you think. What am I missing? And if you gained any value from this, let me know. Appreciate your support. I love the Do Hard Things Nation. Check us out. Go to the website. And that's all I got for today. So tough times don't last. Tough people do hard things.